Hey folks, Captain Craig here, and gonna do what I'm gonna call Tiki Talk. I have a little tiki hut in the back where we kind of relax and just kind of enjoy ourselves. Summer storms down here in Florida are building up over to the west. They'll be heading over here soon. But I wanted to just talk for just a few minutes. I'll try not to make this very long. But I had a charter the other day. A family came out, super nice group of people. Actually met her in the mom in the education community, because I was a teacher for a long time, and she brought her family over to go do a little nature cruise over and through the islands and see some manatees and some dolphin, maybe get in the water and swim and whatnot. But a fun thing was that they have she's traveled back now, but a German exchange student from Germany who was just delightful, as was the whole family. But here's what I found fascinating, and what I've been finding fascinating, and what I find fascinating anytime I take people on the water, but this one in particular really struck home. And it's this place that we're kind of in with regards to technology and nature. And I understand technology's here, but this young woman, Maya is her name, we're out on the boat and everybody was enjoying themselves, and we're cruising down the canals, and we happened upon a group of 7 or 8 manatees cruising around, young and old, just wandering along the mangroves. And we were fortunate enough to have the wind blowing us right along. So I just took the boat out of gear. I like to hang off a little bit, close enough to be able to see and enjoy the manatees, but not so close to where I changed their behavior. A lesson I learned when we lived out west. Oh, there's the rain right there. However, as we're cruising along with these manatees, and she's just loving it. And I'm talking to her about, there's a couple that had a couple of fresh and some older scars on their backs. Nothing horrific. I mean, I guess any scar is horrific, but they weren't as egregious as a lot of them I've seen on some of the manatees. But we talked about the dangers for manatees. We talked about them. They were wandering through the, kind of cruising along right under the canopy of the mangroves. And we just enjoyed ourselves, I don't know, for 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay guys, we'll leave them be, and let's roll. So we started going. They wanted to get in the water, so I said, all right, let's go. I know a little cove area we can jump in. I can drop in the power pole. You guys can step out and kind of wait around and float around if you like, and enjoy yourselves there. On the way though, we round this corner by these condos on the north side of Minutemen here, and we saw some dolphin, and she lit up. And as we're coming around this corner, these 2 dolphin, a younger and older, I like to say mom and baby, but I don't know, but a younger and older dolphin, bottlenose dolphin, come up right by the bow, and she and the mom of this family, the young girl Maya and the mom of this family, were looking over the bow, and the dolphin came right up to us, and they're cruising right there. She turned around to me, and the look on her face, just the joy on her face was like, she doesn't see this. And we talked on the trip about how far away she is from the sea in Germany, how difficult it is to get to the sea. She's never experienced, she saw the manatees at, what is it, Castaway Cove or wherever it is over at SeaWorld. She actually got, I think, in the water with the dolphin over there, but not in their natural environment. And about that time, the dolphin peeled off from where we were cruising. She turned around to look at the dad of the family, who was towards the stern of the boat, and right then, those 2 dolphins bounced out of the wake, jumped up a bit, and it was as if someone had injected just like a shot of pure joy to this girl. Her face, her eyes, her whole being just changed. And that's it. That's it. It's that. It's coming out on the boat. And not like, I've said it and I'll say it forever and ever. I would love for you to come on our boat. I would love to take you out and have you experience these things. But I also understand that what we offer is maybe not for everybody. Maybe you prefer something different. We have tons of options here in Brevard County, from these large 40-foot plus catamarans that take a bunch of people on them. You have a choreographed, like a structured tour you can go on. Those are perfectly fine. There are other people who do something similar to what I do. There are kayak tours, absolutely. But regardless of where you are and who you go with, it's that engagement. The engagement of a human brain and a human soul and human eyes seeing and interacting with a natural experience, interacting with an animal that's in its home environment. I'm not feeding this animal, I'm not doing anything, I'm not giving it any enticement. It's just there. She's not watching it on a screen. She's not taking videos or pictures of it and having a filter. She's just seeing it. And that's what it's about. Whether it is, again, manatee, dolphin, spoonbills, herons, egrets, taking a kid. A few weeks ago, actually a couple weeks ago, had somebody going by on the canal. Hey, had these kids out. They never done saltwater fishing before. Never, the dad and the son had never been out on a boat fishing in the ocean before. And here we are. We roll out to the reefs. We're catching. The poor guy, he's like, so I guess it's a good sign if my fingers are blistered from reeling in too many fish. Another young man had never really fished this area. He fished freshwater for bass and bluegill and whatnot, but never fished the saltwater. Took him out in the mangroves, 2 redfish, nice redfish, and he's just loving it, learning knots, learning how to do this stuff. In this world that we're in, and I'll get on my soapbox for a moment. I've recently retired from full-time teaching, part-time taking people out on the boat, to now full-time taking people out on the boat, and retired from teaching. And I knew it was time for multiple reasons, but one of them is this. Students were coming in to my classroom, good people, good souls, meaning well, respectful. I had very few discipline problems. I hear people, oh my gosh, you poor guy. That's not it. When I could, the powers that be have adjusted some of the guidelines that stopped this from being a viable option. But when I was able to, one of the exercises I did in my classroom was to have students take their phones out and look to see what their screen time was. How much time did they spend on their phone on a daily basis? And then where that time was spent. Okay. They and I were incredibly shocked when the lower end of screen time usage for students, so I'm talking 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, so 15 to 18 years old. The minimum time for them, now were there anomalies for sure, but the minimum average would be around 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. But the majority were 4, 5, 6, 8, some of them over 10 hours a day on their phones. To me, that's, it's, what I call it is it's a challenging way to engage in a world that offers so many wonderful things. So the other week, my wife and I went to a concert, Molly Tuttle. If you haven't had the chance, go see this young lady. Molly Tuttle, bluegrass, she's amazing, just amazing. In the audience, my wife and I were probably average in age for the audience that was there. We saw them up in Ponte Vedra, which is just south of Jacksonville Beach. And what I found was my generation, guy was heading out on the boat, now he's heading back in. It's raining pretty good now. There weren't a lot of phones out, and if they were out for just a moment. However, we've been to other shows where we were in the older area, some of the younger audiences, and that's, I'm not saying exclusively this way, but many of the people watching these concerts that are going and experiencing them are experiencing them through the lens of their phones. They're literally videotaping songs or sections or times of these concerts, and maybe they watch them later. But there was a great example of what I'm getting to, where Tom Petty, who is no longer with us, but Tom Petty talked to his audience at a concert one time about, put your phones away, please. Like, enjoy this. You're probably not going to, years from now, watch this mediocre audio video of this concert. Be in the moment. Allow your brain and your soul to go through your eyes and experience the moment you're in. And that brings me back to Maya. Every single charter, every single time I've taken people out on the boat, we've experienced things that are just there. They're raw. They're natural. They're wonderful. They're crazy. They're outlandish. They have this whole spectrum of experience to them. But they're authentic. It's a kid hooking into a fish and saying, I've never had any fish pull this hard before. Or somebody seeing a dolphin or a manatee so close, leaning over the bow, no bow riding, but leaning over the bow to get a look at a dolphin turned sideways and looking at them. And that natural interaction, not a trained experience and a tank. I won't get into that whole dynamic at this moment. However, I took a couple out a week or so ago to look at real estate. They were looking at buying homes. And there, right across in front of us, this beautiful roseate spoonbill flashed across. And that beautiful pink, elegant bird flying in front of them was just a moment. They weren't watching it through their phones. They just have that memory. People in my generation, we say a couple of things oftentimes with this topic in mind. I am so glad, and by the way, I am so glad that my life was not experienced through videos and that kind of alternate memory, if you will. I talk to friends that I've known for 40, 50 years, and we talk about those times. Now, do we remember them as, no, but we remember them how we remember them. I can have conversations with my grandkids or my kids or people in the community, and we talk about our memories. I suggest that we look to engage in the world around us. Now, don't get me wrong. I encourage people to take pictures. I'll take pictures for them. Hey, you want to get up onto the upper station? I'll take a picture of you. Take the memories, for sure. When the dolphin were up on the bow, I'm like, oh my gosh, get a video. They experienced it, they saw it, they watched it. By the time they got their phones out, the dolphin were gone. But if they had taken the time to get their phones out, the dolphin would have been gone anyway. And they wouldn't have experienced it. Experience it first. Take a picture of the fish when you catch it. Have someone take a video of you while you're catching the fish. But a snippet. Don't make it to where the screen is your only means of accessing those memories. So, thank you to Maya for having that excitement and that passion and that moment on her face. She's going to talk, when she gets back to, she is back in Germany, but my guess would be that she will be talking about that time where she looked back at her host dad and she saw the dolphin jump out of the wake in the boat. Because very few people around her will have experienced that. You might say, do you have a picture? Do you have it? No, but I remember it. Anyway, thank you to Maya. Thank you to y'all for listening. I'm going to cut this short or finish this now. Hopefully this isn't too long. But if you get a chance to come out into the Space Coast, Brevard County's natural world, please do yourselves a favor and do that. We have so much to offer. It's an amazing place. It's a beautiful place. And there are really wonderful people to take you out there and see it. Hope it's with us. I would love to see you on our boat. But if it's not with us, go with somebody and just embrace it and experience it. Take pictures, but make sure that the memories are not only in your photo apps, they're also in your brain, your mind, your soul. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you soon.